Hello student, this is Shurprakash and today you will study here fourth poem of your book, that is Flamingo, and the name of the lesson is A Thing of Beauty. It is composed by John Keats. He was a British romantic poet and he died in his prime age, that is almost he was 25 when he died. So this is a poem about Endymion, the poem that is called Endymion. The poem A Thing of Beauty has been extracted from there only, and the title is given here, Endymion, a poetic romance. So it is not the romance which is for the couples. So it is a kind of romance which belongs to nature. What actually happens in that? It is based on a Greek legend that in which Endymion, a beautiful young shepherd and poet who lived on Mount Latmus, had a vision of Cynthia, the moon goddess. The enchanted youth resolved to seek her out and so wandered away through the forest and down under the sea. And the name of the lady is Diana. The first of all, he started loving the nature, and then the nature itself became the lady Diana itself. So you will study here the poem and you will find the explanation as well as. First of all, it is given, a thing of beauty is a joy forever. Its loveliness increases, it will never pass into nothingness, but will keep a bower quiet for us and asleep, full of sweet dreams and health and quiet breathing. So, students, here the poet says us about the nature, that the mother nature is very beautiful, and whenever you have anything that is a kind of beauty, then it gives us a kind of happiness which is never ending. Actually, the beauty is not here external, it is called eternal beauty, that the beauty of nature and the beauty of God, whatever He has created for us, everything beauty exists on the creation of the God. And the loveliness which the nature has, it increases day by day. It will never fade away. It will always increase as the time passes. So what happens? The beauty and the happiness which is materialistic, so it will one day decay, but what happens when anything that is eternal will be long lasting? And the beauty has been represented here like a bower, like a shady tree under which we can have sweet dreams, that we can patiently sleep there and we will gain health and there will be fresh air to breathe. So finally you can say that the beauty gives a beauty that is eternal, gives us a kind of happiness and also gives us health. So next lines, therefore on every morrow are we wedding a flowery band to bind us to the earth, spite of despondence, of the inhuman dearth of noble natures, of the gloomy days, of all the unhealthy and over darkened ways, made for our searching, yes, in spite of all, say some shape or beauty moves away the pall. So here the poet tells us that we, every morning, what happens? We all have a kind of bond, that is the physical beauty which every morning attracts us. And here it is given that, are we wedding a flowery band to bind us on the earth, means it is a kind of trap, like a rat trap, you can say. So it is a kind of trap which binds us to the earth, in spite of despondence of inhuman dearth of noble natures, of the gloomy days, of all the unhealthy over darkened ways. So what happens? The life is full of miseries. Depression are there, and that every people is suffering from something. Whatever the problem he is facing, every person is suffering from that. And what happens then? The beauty, the nature, like the ship which has been stuck somewhere, and the wind blows and the pall of that ship moves toward the happiness. And that's how we come out of our darkened ways. Made for our searching, yes, in spite of all, some shape or beauty moves away the pall. That the beauty which you can say the nature itself, it takes us away from all the unhappiness, from all the depression, all the lacks, whatever we are lacking in our life. It takes us away from these only, and it carries us toward a kind of happiness. Such the sun, the moon, trees old and young sprouting a shady boon, for simple sheep, and such are daffodils with the green world they live in, and clear rills that for themselves a cooling convert make against the hot season, the mid forest break. So here what the poet wants to tell us, he continues to tell us about that what are the things which tells us a kind of beauty, that the sun, the moon, the trees, young, old, sprouting a shady boon, for simple sheep. That the nature, the God has made everything, the sun, the moon, book, all things are very beautiful. And whatever the trees, that a young tree or old one, and sprouting a shady boon for simple sheep, and such are daffodils with the green world they live in. And they create a kind of happiness in the forest also, that the nature itself. And the daffodils are the flowers which gives a kind of happiness to the people who goes to see them. And clear rills that for themselves cooling convert make against a hot season. And the narrow rivers, you can say brooks also. So what happens whenever it is too hot, that you are in sad condition, then it makes the season cool. That is the meaning, that it gives you a kind of happiness. Whenever you are unhappy, then it makes you happy whenever you are near that beauty. The mid forest brake, rich with sprinkling of fair musk rose blooms, and such too is the grandeur of dooms we have imagined for the mighty dead. All lovely tales that we have heard or read, and endless fountain of immortal drink pouring unto us from the heavens bring. So you can say that the world is full of miseries. But what happens? The things which are created by God, like he continues here about the beauty of the nature, that the mid forest brake, rich with sprinkling of fair musk rose blooms. Whenever you go into the deep forest, then what happens? A kind of fragrance comes from that forest, that is a fragrance of musk rose that blooms everywhere, that makes you happy, and it fills us with a kind of happiness that lasts forever. And such too is the grandeur of the dooms we have imagined for the mighty dead and the soldiers, the people who have fought for their country or for the humanity. The tales of these things make us very happy. So the world is full of unhappiness and uh, the sadness, you can say. So everything is there which make us sad, but the nature always make us happy. And these all things, like the fragrance of musk rose and the stories of the mighty deads who fought for the country or fought for the humanity. So the tales of those mighty people make us happy. And endless fountain of immortal drink, they give us a kind of immortal drink that we want to live here. There is nothing which can make us happy except the nature. So the nature only is on the earth that makes us happy. So pouring onto us from heaven's brink, and that comes from the heaven that God has provided us, and the only thing, the only reason to live here in this mortal world, and give us a reason so that we may live here. So now I will tell you about the figure of speech which are used here. So first of all, I will tell you about the rhyming scheme, that you will take the first 5 lines, that forever, never, keep, sleep and breathing. So you will find that forever, never, both are the rhyming words, keep, sleep, both are the rhyming words, and the next one is breathing and wedding. Then A, B, B, C. And the in the first 5 lines you will find the figure of speech. The first of all, alliteration is there in sweet. In the 4th line it is given, and a sleep full of sweet dreams. Then sleep and sweet, here alliteration will be there. Then again the metaphor is given, that bower quiet, here it is given bower quiet. In the 4th line you will find a bower quiet. It means the calmness of a shady tree compared to the beautiful things, the effect of the beautiful things. And the next, therefore, and here it is therefore on the every morrow we wedding. a flowery band to bind us. So here is given, are we wreathing a flowery band to bind us to the earth? So here, are we wreathing? It is called inversion. When the sequence, as usual, we first write subject and then verb comes. Then here the first verb comes, and then after what happens, the subject comes. So it is called inversion. Are we wreathing a flowery band here? And a flowery band to bind us, it is called imagery, because it creates a kind of imagination, that a kind of picture appears before at one. The poet wants to create a scene before us, a flowery band to bind us. A flowery band means a wreath that is called a flower, a ring flower, the flower which is ringed, and we offer to any dead person for tribute. So here imagery is used. Wreathing a flower band, here metaphor is also used, that wreathing like flower band. And alliteration, band to bind, band, bind, b, and then the next line, of noble natures. Then noble natures, in noble natures, and n is repeated, then alliteration is there. And the next we will come, such the sun, moon, trees, old and young. So in old and young, antithesis is there. You will find here old and young. The last line you will see here, old and young. So it is called antithesis when opposite words are used together with any kind of conjunction. Then antithesis is used. And here such the sun is alliteration. Here the sprouting a shady boon, alliteration is here. That sprouting and shady, the first letter is s and s, so alliteration is there. And then for simple sheep, in simple sheep you will find alliteration. And in next line and next to next, that is third line, in the third line you will find that for themselves a cooling convert. So in cooling convert, alliteration is there. Now next line say, rich with a sprinkling of fair musk rose blooms, and such too is the grandeur of the dunes. So here alliteration in have heard given here. In third last line it is given, all lovely tales that we have heard or read. Have heard, alliteration is there. Then metaphor is used in immortal drink. In the second last line, lastly it is given, an endless fountain of immortal drink. So here metaphor, because immortal drink is compared to the things which are provided by the god. So here metaphor is used. The next one is bushes full of musk roses, the rich with the sprinkling of fair musk roses blooms. So here imagery is used, that you will feel the scene, that the fragrance of musk rose is coming. So imagery will be there. So it is all about the poem, and hopefully you will have understood the idea of nature by John Keats.